Alright, so here's a bunch of updates really quickly because I didn't get to record a lot of content today, and I've had an amazing weekend overall, and including today. And unfortunately, I didn't hit the record button before I went out. Didn't bring the camera with me for a whole bunch of reasons. Anyway, so I got up this morning with an okay night's sleep. I went to bed a little bit later than I think I had anticipated. Air conditioner just shut the door. And I ended up getting up right around the same time, but without having the quality of sleep that I've started to have, because one of the dogs that's here was barking and kind of keeping me awake. But I went through the morning routine. I took a shower, brushed my teeth, did the whole, everything you do in the morning. And when I let the dogs out, I realized it was sunny and beautiful, but it wasn't hot out. It was like, it was warm, but it was almost cool in a way. I know that doesn't make any sense because those are not the same thing. But it's been so hot. When it's not raining, it's like 90 plus, usually right around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And today it wasn't. It was just super sunny and just gorgeous. So I was like, listen, it's 10 a.m. I'm kind of raring to go, and it's beautiful out. I'm going to the beach. And so that's what I ended up doing. I ended up going to the beach for a couple hours. Ended up having a late, I think they were still technically serving brunch, but it was like kind of a late lunch with a friend that lives down that way. Just have had a really, really good weekend overall. And I guess I should probably rewind to say the first thing that I saw when I woke up was a message from the group that I had been waiting to hear back from for the past like 5 or 6 days, where they actually responded to me and they said like, hey, sorry, it's just been super crazy busy. This weekend's been busy as well, but let's catch up tomorrow. How does between this time and this time work? And I responded, the first thing I did this morning was respond to that and say like, that time works. And so we should be all good there, which is awesome because that was kind of the only down thing, the only like real negative thing I think over the past couple days has been the fact that I didn't get a chance to have that actual meeting. And now it sounds like I'm actually going to have that chance, which is awesome. And if you're watching this video right now, but you didn't watch yesterday's video about habits and how as a human being, you're essentially a habit machine, I really encourage you to go back and watch that video because I feel like it's tremendously valuable to recognize the importance of habits in your life and to go break the bad ones that you have. I guess to start, you should identify them, then break them and start to build in good habits. So if you haven't watched that video yesterday, I would highly encourage you to take the 7 minutes or however long it is and to go and watch it because I think that's one of the more important videos that I've recorded in recent memory. So I can't decide if I like this buttoned or unbuttoned. We're gonna unbutton it real quick. I don't know. You guys let me know if you think that this should be buttoned or unbuttoned. It's also a linen shirt, which is so comfortable when it's hot out. I don't have a ton of linen shirts. I've got a handful, and every time I put one on, I'm like, man, why don't I wear this all the time? Complete aside from the rest of this content. One of the reasons that I'm really excited about having this meeting tomorrow is that it'll very clearly give me decision criteria upon which I can decide what the path forward is. I would say, assuming the meeting takes place tomorrow, there's a good chance that by the end of next week, or I guess the end of this week, technically since it's Sunday as I'm recording this, that the end of this week, that I'll have an idea of what the path forward is for me for the foreseeable future. And tailing off that, and this is one of the reasons that I'm super excited about it, is yes, it's good to know what the plans are and what the future is and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of like the big picture good stuff. That the lower to the ground, more tactical stuff that I'm kind of waiting on as a result of that decision that you guys haven't seen, and I don't think I've talked too much about, is that there's some travel that I want to do. There's people that I'd like to go see and some stuff that I'd like to go out in the world and do. And I'm putting that all on hold until I've got some clarity here because I wanted to be, one, available for the meetings. And two, I didn't really want to be spending a ton of money without knowing what the future would look like. And three, I also wanted to make sure that depending on which opportunity I go with, I don't want to be somewhere else in the world if I'm supposed to start a job on Monday and I have to tell them like, no, I need to push it back. Because I think you don't want to ruin the opportunity to start a job because you're somewhere else. And a lot of times, the best example I can give you, if I were to take a job coaching a CSGO team again, I can't not be back when the players come back from the player break, right? That kind of thing. And so having this opportunity for that meeting is going to give me the clarity I think that I need. And hopefully this next week answers a lot and solves a lot of questions and gives me, a very clear picture of what the future is going to look like. And then alongside of that allows me to go travel and get some stuff booked and planned that I've been putting off because I just didn't know what the path forward was. It's amazing what a little bit of clarity can do, and this is definitely one of those situations or cases where I've been very patient and knowing that eventually things would clear up, and it seems like this coming week is going to be the week that really clears things up, and super excited about that for a number of reasons, but that's definitely one of them. So one thing that occurred last night when I was out with a friend that I think is going to end up being a longer piece of content from me at some point in the future was just in having conversations. I love intelligent conversation, and in having intelligent conversation, especially with a friend that you can just be like super honest, there's no need to like filter or fake anything. I feel like a lot of times people are super fake when it comes to stuff like that, and it's very hard to have like a real conversation if someone is that way. But in having a very real conversation, it just, something about it like kind of sticks to you, and for me yesterday in having a conversation, it just kind of changed my perspective on some stuff. And I think it's really good to kind of step outside of your own shoes every now and then, put on somebody else's shoes in a metaphorical sense, and just, kind of put yourself in their head or in somebody else's head. Maybe it's somebody you care about or a friend or a family member, and really, really try to focus hard to see things through their eyes. And something in that conversation that I had last night with a friend did that for me in a couple different situations. And so it just completely tilted my perspective, or changed my perspective, or I guess better said, widened my perspective. And I really, really appreciated that, because I love being able to think about things in a different way. And changing your perspective is essentially that, right? And having my perspective changed, or getting the chance to see it from a different perspective, helps a lot. And it was really enjoyable. So anyway, Another small nugget, not relevant to the rest of the today's content, but something that stood out to me yesterday that I do think will eventually be part of a video of some kind that I put out.